everyone, welcome to Lunch Hour Lessons with Allison. I'm Allison Mädl, and today is February 27th, 2019. Every Wednesday at 12:30, I come to you live to introduce a topic related to nutrition and health that I think is interesting and give you a lesson to take with you into your daily life. If you like what you hear, be sure to comment or like this video. And as always, I post a transcript on my blog at AllisonMädl.com. This week's topic is perfect your posture. So back issues, shoulder pain, and neck pain can be made worse by poor posture. Digestion actually can be relevant too, because poor posture means that we're compressing all of our digestive organs into a smaller space without giving them the room they need to function properly. So good posture isn't everything. It's not a cure-all. There's many things that can be done to improve back, shoulder, and neck discomfort. But if posture isn't optimized, then the other treatments just don't work as well. So I consider good posture to be a foundation for good health, just like drinking enough water, which is something we're going to talk about next week. About 7 years ago, I learned about a book called 8 Steps to a Pain-Free Back. It's by an acupuncturist named Esther Goclay, and she had suffered from back pain resulting from injuries and herniated discs and sciatica for a really long time, and surgery did not fix her back pain. And so she set off to figure out what could be done about this. And she became certified in anthropologically based posture modification. It's a type of training. And the theory is that we in industrialized countries don't use our bodies well when we bend, when we sit, stand, and move. And this misuse can cause pain and damage, and that we have much to learn from traditional cultures. And so she traveled the world actually, and visited all different continents all around the world, and interviewed people, documented with pictures what she saw for people who don't have back pain. And it was kind of revolutionary for her. So she wrote this book. And she also developed a series of trainings that she teaches out of her workshop in Stanford, California. And so her back pain is a thing of the past. She's really kind of a guru in this whole movement. And so even if back pain is not an issue for you, we all know that having bad posture is something to be avoided, mostly for attractiveness reasons. Those with poor posture are often told to sit up straight, and it looks better, and we seem more confident when we're doing so. Standing up straight is great advice if we know how to do it right. So most people throw their shoulders back, and they stick their chest out, and they tuck their pelvis under too. That's sort of a myth of good posture. This is really an unsustainable posture. It does nothing for our health. It is difficult to maintain. It's forces our muscles into an unnatural place. And over time, this can compromise our health. So if you like books with a lot of pictures, I really recommend checking out her book. She has illustrations of good posture and step-by-step instructions, and also a lot of really neat photographs of people from her travels. So I'd like to highlight a few tips from the book to get you started on the right track. When you're going to stand up straight, like people say, the first thing to do is to take your fists and you're going to place them over your rib cage and press down so that you're anchoring your ribs down. They're not jutting forward. Instead, they are anchored down. So while you're anchoring your ribs down, then you're going to imagine that you have a string coming out the top of your spine, and it's kind of pulling your head up and your whole body kind of up. Your chin that way is going to have a natural downward slant, but it's not tucked under and it's not protruding out like this. But meantime, you're still keeping those ribs anchored. The shoulders are going to be rotated down and back. And when your arms are relaxed down at your side, your thumbs should be actually pointing forward like this instead of inwards like this. So you can know if you're doing it right if your thumbs are pointing forward. Remember, we're not raising our shoulders and forcibly pulling them back. It's just a simple rotation down and back until they relax. Talking about the pelvis is really important, and there is some sort of a myth that it should be tilted under for best posture. We kind of are told to tuck our hips under. But what this does is it puts all the pelvic organs resting on our Kegel muscle. And we know that our Kegel muscles are weak because so many people have problems with incontinence. And so we're told to do Kegel muscle exercises. But the real problem is that we tuck our pelvises. So what we need to do is antevert the pelvis, tip it forward, and that actually brings all the pelvic organs sitting on top of the pubic bone, so it has a good stable foundation. That's why posture is a really important, literally a foundation for good health. So that is really important, and to do that, you can imagine if you're sitting, imagine that you have a long tail sticking out from your tailbone. And you don't want to sit on your tail. So you're going to sit down and tip the pelvis forward to the point that the tail would be resting behind you off the bench. So that's kind of the idea there. And when you're going to be bending then, you want to bend from your hips, keeping your back straight, and you're not hunching your back to bend over and pick things up. This back part, lower back, is always straight. So in my own experience, I had mild scoliosis that kind of causes my shoulders to be tipped at different angles. I'm still working on that. And it started to cause a little bit of discomfort about the time that I found her book. And so I read up everything I could, and I've been practicing it for a long time. And I really have noticed a difference in sleeping, in sitting, in walking, particularly. Pain is gone and it feels really good. So that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to check out this week's lunch hour lesson, which is good posture is a foundation for good health. Again, good posture is a foundation for good health. Like my page to get the weekend tip that comes out on Saturday morning. And that's all we have for today. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.